Hey there, this is Yoshi. I'm sorry, my dog's having a fight against neighbor's dog at this point. But anyways, this is a care collab. Today's care collab is about big Vandas. Well, now I have a few Vandas hanging in here and there also. When I talk about big Vandas, it's quite a different. So let's see. Now, big Vandas sometimes refer to like those two. I don't really know what would be a big species actually, but this is a not really good looking Vanda, but this is one of those pacharas. Pacharas are pretty big, and it becomes like maybe this big or maybe this big. So this is big Vanda. This is Sandriana cross, I am assuming. I can tell from this tones, the bottom part and the top part has a different pattern on it. So anyways, so care collab is you know, when we get together, the YouTubers, and we talk about their own care, each own care, because they have different situation, you know. So we talk about how we grow particular plants, and at this point this is about Vanda, and all those participants will be around here. So yeah, Vandas particularly not really hard to keep, but it has some special needs, I would say, and sometimes it's not open to everybody. So I've been always fascinated by Vandas, and whatever this leaf is kind of bugging me, but anyways, I want to talk about those requirements and stuff. It might be a little long of a video. I usually don't make a too big of a or too long of a videos, but anyhow, so I think this would be a big, categorized as a big Vanda, but I have this one. This is Vanda scandens. Now I don't know if it's categorized as a big Vanda, but definitely big. And all Vandas will eventually get taller or something if you're good at keeping the leaves and stuff. Sometimes the leaves will drop though, so but then kind of need to figure out why the leaves are dropping, especially, you know, just like that. I don't know why this is dropping. I'm assuming it doesn't like too much of a sunlight, maybe. I don't know, because it's definitely didn't come with that. So anyhow, so this is Aridis, no, yeah, Aridis Fuchsiana. Have some spike coming in. Pretty excited about that. But yeah, I live in Lake Stevens in Washington State, Zone 8B. So the weather is pretty mild, but it could get hot, it could get cold. But when I say hot, it's like somewhere around 85. Sometimes gets up more than 90s, but that's a really, really rare occasion. When I say cold, it really goes down below 28. 28, 27 would be the coolest usually. And oddly enough, last season, meaning last summer and last winter, I would call it last winter now, we had a hot heat and then also cold snap more than usual. So yeah, we did have a pretty hard time keeping a greenhouse in a good condition temperature wise. So now temperature, let's talk about the temperature. Here's a Vanda Mimi Palmer. It's seedling now, but they are actually, I think, categorized as a big Vanda, whereas this is Vanda cristata. This is small, so not this one, but this might be. This is Vanda fortida. It's a supposedly beautiful pink fragrant flower. But anyways, most of the Vandas I know are mostly warm to hot growing. Therefore, I kind of have to have higher up here because, you know, the hot air goes up, right? I have no Vandas down here. This is my bottom, right? So I have it higher up here, all of the Vandas, so it could have temperature. Now here's the thing now. So I have sensor push here, so this is lower part, right? And then also my thermometer or thermostat for this heater right here. Forget the mess here. That one's here, right? And now it says 69. Now if I come over here, I have another heater's thermostat here, and I set this one 72. Okay, so now 73 it says, so it's pretty good now. But I have a thermometer here, it says 70, and I have the thermostat's sensor here, so it's on the higher part. So I'm trying to keep this temperature up here, especially in the winter time, as close as it gets to 72. But the lower temperature, that heater on the door side, it won't turn on unless it goes down to like 64 or something like that. So that's how I'm trying to kind of keep a temperature difference between top and bottom. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but yeah. So in general, Vandas are in a warmer side, and of course the light, it needs a higher, especially big ones like that we are talking about, right? The big ones. I don't know any Vandas, the big Vandas, which requires okay or good lighting level. They usually need a really good amount, strong, direct, if that, indirect light. So that's something you need to keep in mind. It will probably grow fine under the light, you know, but if it's just a okay condition grow light, it might not bloom, you know what I mean? So I don't have any lighting here. This greenhouse is facing south, so around summertime, or no, actually around now, pretty close to now actually, I have to put the shading net, 50% shading net, and that's actually pretty good for even in a Pacific Northwest where the sun is not as strong as Florida or Arizona or whatever. It's still giving us pretty good amount of light, and the proof of that is not that big one, but this one, Denisoniana. Now I am not sure what this one is categorized. I'm assuming it's a big Vanda, so I'll go with that. This one, Denisoniana particularly, really needs really strong level of light. So if this can bloom, then pretty much all the Vandas I would safely say can bloom here. So that's a good indication to me. But then in spring to summertime, there's a tree on here and it shades it pretty well too. So I kind of can have what do you call it, micro climate, is that what you guys call it, can happen here too. So that's the lighting. Talk about temperature and the watering. Vandas are pretty much well known for high in minerals, high in a fertilizer, I mean. But I don't really make changes in my water per season. Yes, I do like maybe 100 to 150 in the winter time, and then grow season, like starting around now, I go up to 200 to 250, and I flush maybe occasionally, but usually I don't really do. I also, so like in summertime, I water all of them every single day. Every single day I just use water from a faucet, and you know, it's easy for a greenhouse grower, I guess. I can just hose down, and you know, it can happen very, very quickly. But in the winter time, I use rainwater, and obviously it's a warm to hot growing, so usually I get the rainwater from outside, and I keep it in greenhouse overnight, and then use that room temperature, greenhouse temperature water, make a solution, the fertilizer solution, or just to use as a rainwater, as a flushing, whichever it is appropriate. That's how I water in winter time. And yeah, this is what I do. I get water from here, or I mean, I use this bucket and then leave it here, and this is where I put the fertilizer mix in. So that's how I change it. And then if I want to flush, then I use the rainwater, or I don't make a solution. So that's how I do it. But I usually don't really worry about flushing for Vandas, to be honest. So that's watering. One thing you want to be clear about is the media. As you can see, most of them are bare rooted. You can pot them. I've seen many people pot them because, you know, they cannot water that often. Especially if you're an indoor grower, I can totally understand that. I can do this fairly easily, just because I don't have to worry about dripping water down to the floor. I have dirty floor, I mean bunch of rocks. So obviously when I got house and I got the greenhouse, I went crazy collecting Vandas. So most of them are all Vandas. There are a few not non-Vandas, but to be honest, I usually like a miniature Vandas, like from modes and whatnot. But yeah, this side actually I don't really have bigger Vandas except for probably that one, which is Scandens, like I said. But talk about, I don't know, pest. I don't really have a pest except for mealybugs. Mealybugs are easy to get rid of. You just you know, spray with alcohol water solution and wash it out, and they die right out. So that's actually not really my problem either. Yeah, like I said, I water almost every day, every other day around this season, and probably switch to every day in maybe April, because the greenhouse can get pretty hot every single day once the sun is coming out. So yeah, I love Vandas, as you can tell. I cannot have enough. It's almost crazy level, I would say, especially mods Vandas. I have this beautiful Lamarada cross, I think, Lamarada cross Noi Blue cross Wrinkle Celestis Blue. It bloomed for me beautifully. I would say this is bigger, I guess. So yeah, So that's the requirement. As far as potting goes, I don't have a good success with potting. I would use probably lava rock maybe and soak them in, you know, tub or something. So I used to live in an apartment, so what I did for watering for everyday basis, I had like this kind of tub, but a lot bigger though. Then I soak only the roots part, and I still do this sometimes too. I look at each bandas and see if all hydrated. If not, I soak the roots overnight like that, and then bandas are fine for, you know, overnight, just like that, and then take it out and then hang it back again. But yeah, that's what I did exactly. I dunked a whole bunch of roots of the bandas I had in the apartment overnight, and then hang them back right up next morning. So that's how I watered back then. And if that's the case, since it soaks up a good level of water, I didn't have to water them every day, maybe every 3 days or something like that. And of course, you know, indoor, the airflow is not as strong as greenhouse or outdoor, so that was enough. So now I said that airflow, that's really important for Vandas. The roots want airflows, they want really good moisture, and yet it doesn't want to be soggy wet all the time. So that's something you need to bear in your mind. Crown rods also, this is a monopodium, so obviously it has a crown, and if you have a water left over on top of the crown, like here, this is a crown right here, that's where the new growth is coming out. There's a new leaf coming out already. If you rot it, it cannot grow anymore, so it just rots out and dies, and it's really slow death. By the time you realize it's got a crown rot or stem rot or something, then it's too late, unfortunately. Stem rot doesn't really happen in Vandas as far as I'm concerning about rots, but yeah, it could happen too. And I of course lost a few because of it too. So it will happen if you're not careful, but not as often as like Phalaenopsis or something like that. So well, 18 minutes already. I talked way too long. I really love Vandas, as you can tell, and but it's, you know, a lot of them are fragrant. Big ones tend to be non-fragrance. Those are the most of them, but there are fragrant ones. So very beautiful and big showy flowers. That's the attractive part of a Vandas, the big Vandas I mean. So yeah, if you have those you know, requirements met, then it's definitely for you. Strong light, you know, water every day, something like that. So please check others video, and hope to see you soon again in my video. Thank you so much for watching, and you guys have a good day. Bye.